What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to Salt Sports. If you're not familiar with Salt Sports, Salt Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network. It means we talking all sports, but only Houston. With that being said, man, this is primarily the Texans channel. If you want that Rocket Strolls and additional H-Town talk, make sure you go to saltsports.tv. It'll take you to the other channel. I'm your host, Ed Honcho. We got a couple of gentlemen from the roundtable joining us. If you don't know about the roundtable, you've been missing out your whole. You can't call yourself a Texas fan if you ain't fucking with the roundtable. I don't care how you feel. If you think we negative, positive, whatever, you ain't no Texas fan if you ain't fucking with the round. But who we got joining? We got two gentlemen from the roundtable today. Who we got joining us today? Shit.
You got your boy, the Wise Man, Wise Citizens. You can catch me on Twitter at the Wise Citizens. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel at Wise Citizens. And shout out to my boy Darren Davis Swisher back in the midst, coming up next.
Ready, man. Yeah, that boy Swish. I ain't seen that boy in a minute, man. What's on your mind, man? Who else we got joining? Go ahead and formally allow me to reintroduce myself. Formally reintroduce yourself, man. Let the folks know it's been a minute, man.
Man, what's going down, H-Town? It's your boy Swisher back in the mix, man. I know it's been a while, but shit, your boy got to come back and get it, man. I seen my boys out here grinding, and that's motivation right there, man. I got to come back and get it.
You got any socials you want to drop for the people you want them to follow you on?
On
Twitter or so?
Oh, yeah. You can follow me at D Davis. Well, not D Davis, at Darren Davis. You know what I'm saying? That's my Twitter. Same thing for Facebook, IG, everything. It's all the same. It's not too complicated, but yeah.
I really keep it simple. Yeah, look, all you gotta know is Darren Davis. Go find the man. Already. So we gonna talk about something, and as we waiting for the Texans to get everything back in action, there's still so much to talk about when it comes to addressing this team. We've seen that boy Deshaun over there in Israel, and he exploring. Well, I do love that about Deshaun, man, because every time that he has some time off, that boy's going exploring the world, so you can tell that he's curious about the world we live in. You see a lot of motherfuckers doing some old questionable shit, but I love to see that. But Deshaun is not the issue. Deshaun on the contract for the next couple of years, but we are talking about another Texans star and his future with this team, and that star is Jadeveon Clowney. And right now, we know Clowney is under franchise tag. He said he's not going to show up till it's time to play, and I don't necessarily fault him for that because the way the Texans handled him last year, he said he was good to go. He felt like he was ready to play. They still held him out a week or two, and just kind of slowed up his progress, and they always kept him off to the side during the training camp and all those other things. But that's neither here nor there. That's last year. But a couple of things have transpired this year, recently, within the last couple of weeks, that make me question the future of Jadeveon Clowney in this franchise. And I've been questioning it prior to, because they have yet to get the deal done. But now the general manager's gone. Now you have Bill O'Brien assuming those responsibilities for the most part. And any discerning eye can tell that O'Brien doesn't seem extremely fond of Clowney, and I believe it's because Clowney won't kiss his ass like everybody else will, because Clowney is outspoken, he speaks his mind. Remember we called Bortles trash. Oh, don't say that. Don't say that about Bortles. We got to respect him. Fuck that. And he took the trash cans, filled them up, sent them to the kids. Shout out to Clowney. So I think Billy O has a problem with Clowney's approach or mentality. You can say what you want to say about his work ethic or anything like that, but to me, Clowney is a very important piece to this franchise. So with Bill O'Brien handling the GM responsibilities, you're under franchise tag for a year, and we talked about the other day, Bill O'Brien's situation, and if he's on the fringes. I want to know what y'all think about Clowney and his long-term tenure with this franchise. Like, what's going to happen? We'll start off with the Wise Man. What do you think is going to take place is after this season? One, will Clowney play this season? And two, after this season, will Clowney still be a Texan? Do you think they'll re-franchise him? Do you think they'll get a deal done, or do you think he's going to end up elsewhere? What are your thoughts on Jadeveon Clowney?
So, first of all, I have to tell a whole story about Jadeveon Clowney, because since he's coming in the draft, since we picked him number one in the draft, I always was a high advocate for Jadeveon Clowney. I had people telling me, oh, Jadeveon Clowney ain't shit. Jadeveon Clowney can't stay healthy. Jadeveon Clowney trash. Jadeveon Clowney overrated. I was like, nah, this man got potential. Let this man grow. Let this man develop his talents. This man is young. This man has to get into the system. We got Romeo Cornell that doesn't even use the guy right. He puts him at outside linebacker when we know that this guy is a man that puts his hand in the ground. He's a 4-3 defensive end. We have the talent on this defense to play a 4-3 defense, but however, we tend to run things that don't work anymore and things that reverted to the 1980s and the 1990s. So it's very pitiful. But this guy, Jadeveon Clowney, is a leader on this defense. He's a guy that stepped up big time when J.J. Watt went out with his injury. For those 2 years, basically, we've seen a lot of improvement from J.D. This guy was able to attack Tom Brady, him and Merciless. Both of those guys are very, very underappreciated on this team. Both of these guys both have to get paid. Both of these guys are good when it comes to getting to the quarterback. Jadeveon Clowney, the one thing I like about Jadeveon Clowney is that he can set the edge. He's one of the top 5 defensive ends or outside linebackers or defenders in general that stops the run. And people take for granted the tackles for a loss. When he's number 2 and number 3 in the league in tackles for a loss, that's the same thing as sacks. I think the average tackles for a loss for Jadeveon Clowney averaged like 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. That's a big chunk. That means the team is losing yards. I do hear people talk about, he jumped off sides. He's not disciplined. J.J. Watt jumps off sides all the time. Wendy Merciless jumps off sides. Everybody jumps off sides. It's just the Texans. Shit, we've been seeing that shit our whole career. But when it comes to this man's contract, I'm very disappointed because since I started my YouTube channel, I've been saying, Texans, y'all need to pay this man Jadeveon Clowney. This man Jadeveon Clowney deserves $100 million. They could have paid this man 2 years ago and gave him an extension, and they could have saved about probably $6 million in cap. Because right now it's looking like they're gonna probably have to pay him $23, $24 million a year. That's what it's looking like. They keep fucking around. They keep letting guys get these contract extensions. These average pass rushers that only had one good year out of their whole career are getting like $70 and $80 million. So imagine what Jadeveon Clowney is going to get. Some guys got $100 million contracts that don't even deserve it. But for what the Texans is going to do, I think they're going to fuck around and they're probably going to offer him a contract at the end of the season. But if I was them, I would try to offer him a contract before this deadline. I think it's coming up next week, July. I think we have into July 6th or something like that to offer him before that franchise tag is tendered or whatever. But if they don't do that, they're going to have to pay him more money because it's going to be another free agent class next season. And Jadeveon Clowney going to be demanded to be paid number 1 in NFL history. Because, every time somebody get a new contract, somebody breaks the record for highest paid in the league. But I'm very upset with the Texans because I went to the training camp last year, and I was able to see this guy, Jadeveon Clowney, and he was balling out. He looked like the best player on the defense on the field. He stood out. This is a guy that was healthy last offseason, and the Texans withheld him at the beginning of the season. Did we not forget this? Did we not forget that the Texans withheld Jadeveon Clowney even though he said he was healthy and ready to play? So I'm tired of people saying that. I'm tired of people saying that he ain't getting double-digit sacks. He had 9.5 sacks last season, and we can go to multiple games where he had sacks and they got taken away from bullshit, where it was a clean sack and a ref just threw a penalty. But that's all I have to say about JD. The Texans need to fucking pay this man or fuck the Texans. That's my move.
Straight up. I know Rick ain't here, but y'all remember Dante Robinson, pay me, Rick. Clowney need to go ahead and come out with some shoes. Pay me, Bill. God damn it. You bullshit ass Bill. All right, D Davis, Derek Davis, aka Swisher in the motherfucking house. Man, how are you feeling about the Clowney situation? How do you feel like it's gonna play out and how should the Texans handle it? What are your thoughts?
I'm appalled. I'm appalled at this situation. Like, seriously. We know what Clowney represents. We know what he brings to the table, and yet they're bullshitting with this man's money. As in any real man, you don't want your money played with, and that's what they're doing with this man. And it's not cool. It's not right in any way. As far as going forward, I definitely see them getting the deal done because they looking over in the division and saying, Indy got some money, and guess what? they didn't make a lot of moves this year. So guess what they might be making, what they might be saving that money to do? They waiting on Houston to fuck up so that they can swoop in and say, hey, Mr. Clowney, how you doing? We'll give you they didn't put another zero on your account. Oh, they couldn't put another zero on there? Okay, well, we gonna do that for you. We gonna get you $100 million, and we gonna do you just like how Buffalo did Mario. We gonna have you forgetting how to spell your goddamn name and shit. That's how much money we gonna have on the receipt. No, for like real shit, and that as a Texans fan going through that, I know. I mean, I'm not gonna say I know, but I just have a strong feeling that Cal McNair was there when all that went down with Mario, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want that to go down again. So if Cal is smart, he just like how he was willing to drop his nuts and tamper with Nicky Scissors. You know what I'm saying? Just like he was willing to drop his nuts and make that move, go ahead and secure your future. Pay this man, because guess what? You might as well go ahead and pay Clowney now, because once Watson gets ready to get paid, if y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all think what Carson Wentz was, what y'all, that $124 million that he got, Watson probably gonna get well over 150, and that's just keeping it 100 with you. That's how good he is, and if he don't, but that's another story for another day. But as far as the Clowney situations goes, I see them getting that deal done just off of the fact that they don't want to have to contend with Indy. And also, I'm pretty sure they don't want to contend with any of the other division rivals, because we've all said that Jacksonville didn't have no money, and they went and pulled some over the cap shit, some under the table type shit. So they just found money from wherever it came from. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be as an organization, you don't want to be in that situation where you not only bidding against the other teams, but you also bidding against your division rivals for an impact player like Clowney.
I agree with that. Jacksonville found that money in the hot dog cart. But my thing is, shout out to Clarence, man. Clarence got to give him a hard time, man. But my thing is, I agree with you, man. If Clowney ends up going to the division round, especially sliding over somewhere like a Tennessee with Vrabel, we already know that they have ties, and I'm sure he likes Vrabel's attitude. I wouldn't be surprised, because Vrabel is high intensity, low IQ. It is what it is, but. He seems like a player's type person, you know what I mean? Or anywhere else in the division for that matter. I would lose my shit. I would have to really sit there and question this organization and everything they're doing. But like you mentioned about Cal being a bit more aggressive and maybe change the dynamic, you don't want history to repeat itself like the Mario Williams situation. Hopefully Cal makes the move, pulls the trigger, again, just says, you know what, I'm going to play Jerry Jones today, and we're going to get this deal done, because I'm not going to listen to this bullshit O'Brien is talking about, because O'Brien might not even be here when it's all said and done, so I'm not going to miss this opportunity. And then when you mentioned about Deshaun Watson, why not get these deals done while the price is still right? Just like Wise mentioned, every offseason, it's going to become next thing is going to be the highest paid this guy, highest paid that guy. I still think you can leverage a situation with Clowney where he's not the highest paid defensive player right now. But if he comes in and balls out this season, and again, if y'all try to hold him back or whatever, he balls out this season, especially if Watson balls out this season, these are all factors that are going to go into that salary cap here in the near future. Because the better Watson plays, especially when y'all surround him with that shitty line, the more money he's going to demand, especially when you see guys around, they talking about making Pat Mahomes possibly a $200 million dude. That's after what his second year, quote unquote, his first playing year. So again, he sees that. He's like, I'm every bit as good as Mahomes. So y'all gonna have to pay me, because y'all put me in a worse situation, worse coaching, worse line, worse protection, and that's gonna impact Clowney money. So get a deal done with Clowney now and avoid the bullshit. But we're gonna wrap it up on that one, man. Hey, gentlemen, y'all have anything y'all want to say before we slide up out of here?
Shout out to everybody in the H. Shout out to everybody in the world dripping that sauce, watching the sauce. Make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all subscribe to this video. Get this video to JD. Make sure he know the city of Houston want JD to keep him. Make sure that the Texans pay this nigga what he deserves. But anyways, shout out to all my brothers in the round table, and that's all I have to drop.
Already. Swisher, man, you got anything you want to say before we slide out of here?
Man, shout out to you, Honcho. Shout out to Wise, man. Like I said, I know it's been a minute since I've done one of these. Thank y'all for having me back on. Shout out to everybody that watch. You know, it's without y'all watching. You know, like Honcho said many times before, there is no ingredients without y'all. There is no sauce without y'all. So let's keep this thing pumping. We're gonna keep pushing out more videos, more content. As a matter of fact, after this video, like I said, after watching Honcho and them, man, it's really inspired me to go ahead and get back into it. I haven't got all of the things that I need just yet, but I might just go back to recording them off my phone just so that I can push y'all the content that y'all want.
Straight up, give it to them raw, man. Look, it ain't got to be feeling. We done got back to the roots here on the sauce, all that extra fancy shit we've done. I mean, there's a time and a place for that, but, you know, it's about giving the ingredients raw. The ingredients taste best when they're fresh, you know. But, man, I'm glad that y'all could join. Shout out to the Wise Man. Shout out to Swisher. Shout out to Tenny. Shout out to JJ, J&J Sportscast. Shout out to Wink. Shout out to Spitz. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hector, man. You know, Hector, it had been a minute with Hector, so he got to join us yesterday. Man, shout out to everybody. Shout out to Sauce Nation. Shout out to the Roundtable. Shout out to everybody who's just been supporting the channel since day one or whatever the first day is you came across it, man. And just everybody, man. It's nothing but love. Y'all already know what it is. Again, it is an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to get to chop it up with y'all because time is the one asset that you never recoup. And the fact that y'all take the time to fuck with the sauce, man, we are greatly appreciative of that. But with that being said, y'all are the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, y'all stay saucy. Hey, Jack, we out until next time. We'll catch y'all, man. You know how I go.
Perfect.